Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about if and else statements, but before that, please hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon and the notification. So, to get started, what we'll do first is make a new file and then like what is if and else. So, if this expression is true, then sorry, I accidentally added curly braces before. So if this expression is true, then the code written uh, here will be run. Okay. So if I get started, we start with making the program from hash include stdio.h, and as you can see, it's showing me which one do I want, stdio.h, then int main, and let's start. And uh, what we'll do first is we'll initialize a number. I'll make the variable name as num, initialize it as 0, and that's basically the initialization. Then what I'll do is I'll print printf. Okay, this will be the stuff that will be printed on your console. Enter a number. Then what I'll do, I'll add a \n. What that does is that provides me with a little bit of what do you say, with it makes the thing that what you are gonna write into a next line. Okay, then scanf. Okay, then %d, that's for integer values. Then ampersand num, that's saying yes, pointing at this thing num. You have to put the value in here. It's gonna be an integer value, that's %d. Then as I say, printing printf is basically printing, scanf is scanning the number, and you scanning the number you wrote. That's the thing scanf will do. Then what we'll do is we'll add an if statement. Okay, if num percent, I think so, yeah, if num percent to, so what does this thing say? It says if the number is divisible by 2 and at the end remainder is 0, then printf that yeah uh, that %d is, sorry, forgot to add some quotation marks there. So %d is uh, even number, and that's good. And as we are not pointing towards, yes, here you put the number, we're just getting the value out of it, we'll just use num and then return 0. That's gonna stop everything. Now as you can see, I am running it here, and as it's gonna start running, what you're gonna see is nothing is inputting in because I'm using a MacBook. It's good for developers because it's quite like Linux, but this is not really good. Here I will add my passwords and everything, and uh, it will ask for my thing, and if I enter number it will give me uh, an error. Why is this happening? So what I'm gonna do is I am going to troubleshoot it. As long as you're gonna be a developer, there's always gonna be something to troubleshoot. Something is not working, the compiler is not working, the the code you wrote is not working. What is going on? Here you see I'm gonna run the app again. It's gonna ask for my uh, desktop again, like, and if I input it in, it will do the same thing again. So what else you can do is copy that whole thing, okay, from the terminal, and copy and paste it. uh, in terminal. Once I open the terminal, I'll add that. Now it's giving me a permission denied error. It can happen sometimes. If it happens with you, you're using it on Linux, it's gonna be sometime a problem. But what else you can do? Well, here you can see I'm rerunning it and it's not working. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop this, okay, because I've already ran it once. There's already a system file there, and if I have ran it once, and you can see it in the debug console that there is this the thing that we actually want in an output console is coming in a debug console. It happens sometimes in there, in Mac especially. Sometimes Visual Studio Code gives a little bit of problem. So what else you can do is you can go uh, in the not in the debug console. What you will do is I'll stop it again. As you can see, I'll stop it, uh, stop the program, and go to the main folder where it is. Click on if else, and it will start the whole program because I have already ran it once. I have ran the number 4, and 4 is an even number. If I click and write a number that is like 5, it's not gonna give me any output because there is no output for that written yet. So what I'm gonna do next now is I'm gonna initialize 3 numbers. Okay, so I'll need 3 of them. Then A, B, and C. I'll print F, enter 3 numbers, okay, and then I'm gonna add \n and %d 3 times. As you can see, that would allow us to input 3 numbers as well as get to another line, okay. And when you get to another line, you literally have to press the enter button at least once just to get out of that line. That's the problem with procedural programming here. So as you can see, I have added %d, that is for integers. That's saying yes, here's the number. Input the number, we'll put in A, B, and C. Okay, I'll close the terminal here. I'll move back and do a little bit of stuff here and there. So as you can see, there's no num anymore. So if A is bigger than B and that is the expression for and, A is greater than C, okay, then it will say that A is, this is the bigger number, okay, and here I entered A, okay. Now what I'm gonna do, I have to write the whole program with B and C. So if B is greater than A and C, B is greater than C, then print uh, print f that B is the bigger number. I'll have to do it once again for uh, the C, for C as well, like yeah, this is the bigger number. I have copied and pasted it, and that's B. Yeah, that's done. And if C is greater than A, and here you can see I have a problem writing C in lowercase, which I don't usually do, but I still have a problem with like starting anything with any new sentence and in a new line. You like starting every time in a new line, you have to uh, make it capital as grammar, but gotta ignore it here. So %d is the biggest number, where I'll add it to C. So what now is I'll also add another line. So if you'll see, like if when I start writing if, okay, and press enter, it will ask for condition, okay. So if A is equal to B and B and A is equal to C, then the code here will run, that is printf all are equal, and that would be, yeah. And once I start running that, okay, and once I start running that, I'll have to go into the terminal again. As you can see, it's asking for this again, and again, if I'll do anything, it would make the whole thing again. So what I'll have to do is, once I have ran this program, I have to stop it, go out there and click on it again. No, I'll add like 3 numbers, and 3 is the biggest number because that 4, I just had to add an enter. So what I had to do is the last \n, that is making the whole problem, okay, that is the only thing that's making the whole problem. I'll have to use this and remove that. But what I'll again do is yeah, I'll have to run it again, and here it's asking for desktop folder again, and as you can see, I'll just close it, open it again, and 1, 2, and 3 is the biggest number. It didn't happen again. That was only a problem with the \n. So like 5 and 5 and 5 all are equal. Now as you can see, equal and logout are all together, so to bypass that we'll have to add \n in at the end of each printf, so that it doesn't get combined together. So now if I go ahead and run it, so that uh, yeah, so that now it's gonna be back at it again. Now I have to stop at it again. Sorry, it happens sometimes. I'll start using Windows from the next time. So all are equal, as you can see. So if I now uh, go back and use like any big number, 22, 100, 75, so 100 is the biggest number, it will check each and every single one. Okay, and now what I'll show now is if else, what do you say, uh, I'll create a new file and explain it in there. I'll name it as explain.txt. Okay, so as I told you, if uh, expression, if this expression is true, okay, then the code inside that if statement would run. Okay, so but if like the code inside will run then, and but otherwise else would run. What will add it on else would run then. Sorry, there is no expression in there. There is no need for expression. There can be a if else ladder that I'll have to explain in a single video by itself. Otherwise, it would be a little bit complicated for some people. So this code will run if the expression inside the first one is not true. Then then this code will run. That is if and else. So one of the ways you can use this is the first program we made for uh, checking if the number is even or not. So I'll write the whole program again. Uh, oh, sorry, hash include stdio.h int main and curly braces. Okay, then what we're gonna do is int num. I'll just say number this time. Number is equal to 0. Here I have initialized the value as 0, so that if there is any value already in there, there won't be any problem with that. Back in the old days, when we didn't do that, it always caused problem because the old value would carry over. So nowadays it's not a bigger problem, but back then it was. So we'll enter number. Okay, like the last time that we did. Okay, now I'm gonna be deliberately doing mistakes here in this program, so that you need to find out what mistake I did. and you don't do it yourself again. So ampersand d number percent d ampersand number. So if number percent 2 is equal to 0, so that the remainder is 0, print f ampersand d is an even number. Okay. Now, oh yeah, semicolon at the end, never forget that, is the most common mistake in C programming. So else, otherwise, print f. Let me tidy the code a little bit. Print f percent t is odd number, is an odd number. Now always remember to add a backslash n just to tidy up the code that you can see. Okay, now as I'll run this one, you will see that I'll had a problem. And did you find it or not? So, did you found it? Well, here the problem was, I forgot to close the quotations first. So once I do it again, the terminal will not show any problem. The debug would say, yeah, again, nothing would happen here. We'll have to go back, click on if else, enter number. 6 is an even number. Now if you add 3, 3 is an odd number. Now what you're gonna do is yeah, like as you can see, this is 3, like 3 is an odd number. Odd and even numbers is basically that, to find out. So we just made a program to find if a number is odd or even. So what we can do now is, I'll have something for you guys as well. So what we're gonna do is, I'm giving you a little bit of a homework today. Make a program to determine, to check if someone is eligible to vote or not. So I'll make in the next video I'll make one myself. You can check it by yourself as well. But that's it, and thank you for studying with me today. Click the subscribe button, and that's it. Thank you.